It's that time of year again where another US military member decides to mishandle classified information in the form of espionage. Now, I'm sure you guys can recall last year the Air Force took the cake with a major information leak using the app Discord, where an airman decided to show off to his buddies and literally show the world what the United States military was up to in the year of 2023. However, in the year of 2024, today we will be talking about the US Navy. Specifically, Chief Petty Officer Bryce Steven Pedicini, who is assigned to the USS Higgins and has been charged with espionage after allegedly leaking multiple documents pertaining to national defense to a foreign national. Okay, so stick with me in this video because we have a lot to cover and I think you're going to learn a lot. We're going to be talking about espionage, but we're also going to be talking about the fact that Bryce not only got caught in Japan, he also got caught stateside in Virginia trying to give away secret information or classified information. Now, before we start this video, please do me the biggest favor. It's absolutely free. Go ahead and comment, like, or turn on your notifications for this video. It helps out the channel a lot, but it also helps you out and the other subscribers to get new information that I put out there. Okay, so let's get straight to what Bryce is being charged with according to the US Navy. And just so you are aware, this will be held under UCMJ, or Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is an entire different system of legal or law, and we'll get to that in a second. According to the charge sheet, Pedicini on multiple occasions between November 2022 and May of 2023 allegedly transmitted the classified material while serving in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and in Yokosuka, Japan, where the USS Higgins is based. Now, I know you're all asking this question: who is he giving this information to and what is the motive? Well, unfortunately, the US Navy did not disclose who this information was going to. Whether the nationality or the name, we do not have that information, but we do have this. Pedicini had what were called Articles 1223 and 112, which contained information that would be used to the injury of the United States and to the advantage of a foreign nation. Now again, please stick with me because we will be talking about what exactly espionage is, but we will also be talking about what could happen to Bryce himself. Could it be the death penalty? Could he be in jail forever? We will get through all of that. Now, to make things even worse for Bryce, there are actually 7 different instances where the US Navy has enough evidence to say Bryce was trying to either sell information or give information away, which would be under the form of espionage, essentially trying to harm those around him, or the information he is giving could be the intent of trying to harm those around him. For example, Bryce, while in Japan in the month of May, tried to share more classified material with his unnamed contact via pictures that included a shot of a secret level computer screen. And for anyone who's ever served in the US military, even if Bryce was just doing this to take a picture for his friends back home and he wasn't actually performing espionage, nonetheless, he's going to be in a ton of trouble. But again, he is being charged under espionage, so there's obviously a lot more information out there where the Navy is confident to charge him under espionage. There were also 7 allegations of wrongfully communicating defense-related information, and 4 regarding the failure to obey lawful orders and general orders, such as not reporting being solicited for classified information by an unauthorized person. Now, I've talked about this a lot on my channel, something called security clearances and the different classifications of security clearances. I like to refer to this as an insurance policy for the US military. This is because whenever you deploy or you are at least around classified information, from the lowest level of military member to the highest level of military members, you will generally get what's called a security clearance. And look, I am willing to bet this guy has a security clearance considering his rank and position on his ship, considering he is also in Japan, and again, considering that this is what the US military does as a common practice for anyone who goes overseas or on deployments. If he has a security clearance, he's going to be in massive trouble because he broke that security clearance. Now, here's what's actually also interesting, and you sort of get insight on how the US military works. He's actually been in confinement since May of 2023, but now all of a sudden the records are made public, and this is why the news story has sort of blown up to the entire world. Like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden a sailor is sharing classified information. But again, when you look at the records, he's already been in jail or confinement since May of 2023, so it looks like the US Navy has been trying to build a case to make sure when this does go public and they use the words espionage, he most likely is going to be in massive trouble. And again, if this guy was caught taking pictures of a computer screen, you have to understand, even from the lowest level soldier or sailor, if you put a memory stick in a computer that is a government computer, you're going to be in massive trouble as well. So again, when you are under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you have to obey and follow certain laws. In fact, many people joke you are actually guilty until proven innocent, instead of the other way around, you are innocent until proven guilty. So let's actually go ahead and talk about what might happen to Bryce and what we could expect in the future. Okay, so let us first define what exactly is espionage. Espionage is simply the practice of spying or using spies, typically by governments, to obtain political and military information. Now look, that is a dictionary definition, but since we live in the real world and we can sort of get away from the dictionary, again, in the dictionary context, it's typically an opposing military force doing spy tactics on the enemy. But in this case, it's like friendly fire. This guy is in the US Navy, but he's being charged under espionage. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Okay, so this is actually from uscode.house.gov, and you can see where espionage, the dictionary definition, sort of does overlap how the United States defines espionage, or at least charging its own member of the armed forces under espionage. This is Chapter 37, Espionage and Censorship. Harboring or concealing persons, gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information, gathering or delivering defense information to aid foreign government, photographing and sketching defense installations, use of aircraft for photographing defense installations, publication and sale of photographs of defense installations, disclosure of classified information, temporary extension of Section 794, violation of regulations against National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So as you can see, this is actually a large spread of what espionage is considered to be from the US military or the United States government. And look, when I'm reading through this, this guy obviously does fall under espionage, especially when it comes to taking a picture of the computer screen of classified information. Because even if he did not intend to give this information away to somebody, when you look at the gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information, the gathering portion also falls into the whole espionage thing. Okay, so we don't know all of the details of what exactly Bryce did or didn't do, but generally speaking, as I scroll down, I see that we have Section 793, gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. I'm not going to read through all of this, but again, I will leave a link for you guys to, skim through this if you want to learn about what espionage is and how the US military and government would charge espionage against one of its own people. But essentially, this goes over all of the guidelines of what someone could do or not do. I'll just read like one little section. Whoever, for the purpose of obtaining information respecting the national defense with intent or reason to believe that the information is to be used to the injury of the United States or to the advantage of any foreign nation, goes upon, enters, flies over, or otherwise obtains information concerning any vessel, aircraft, work, or defense, navy yard, naval station, submarine base, fueling station, blah, blah, blah. So we just keep going and going. So as you can see, again, it is very, very detailed and very specific on what you can or can't do. And when you go through all of this, the gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information, you'll see that the US government has dealt with espionage before in every single capacity. So they know exactly what they are dealing with or what they could deal with. But let's go ahead and see how Bryce could be charged. Through gross negligence permits the same to be removed from the proper place of custody or delivered to anyone in violation of his trust, or to be lost, stolen, abstracted, or destroyed, or having knowledge that same has been illegally removed from its proper place of custody or delivered to anyone in violation of trust, or lost, stolen, abstracted, or destroyed, and fails to make prompt report of such loss, theft, abstraction, or destruction to his superior officer. Okay, so according to sections 1 and 2, and I'm just giving you a brief summary, essentially, if you did do something illegal, such as gather information, whether it was on purpose or not on purpose, like you may have accidentally taken a picture of your friend and in the corner is the super secret submarine that no one was supposed to see, you are supposed to report to someone about that. Otherwise, that is espionage. But essentially, you shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And we continue. If 2 or more persons conspire to violate any of the foregoing provisions of this section, and 1 or more of such persons do any act to effect the object of the conspiracy, each of the parties to such conspiracy shall be subject to the punishment provided for the offense, which is the object of such conspiracy. So according to this documentation, Mr. Bryce of the U.S. Navy should be facing no less than 10 years. And obviously will be fined and most likely will be losing his entire rank, his paycheck, all of that. Now what's interesting is this, that Pedicini is technically the 3rd sailor within this year alone to have been charged with espionage. Let me go ahead and talk about these 2 other sailors real quick. In January, Wenhing Zhao, 26, who is also known as Thomas Zhao, was sentenced to just over 2 years in federal prison for transmitting sensitive U.S. military information to a Chinese intelligence officer. The petty officer second class had sent more than 50 technical and mechanical manuals for various systems of the USS Essex and similar ships to his handler, court documents show. Now another sailor to be arrested in the same case, Jin Chao Wei, a machinist mate separately assigned to the USS Essex in San Diego. Wei was charged with 4 counts of conspiring and sending defense information to a foreign citizen and has yet to be sentenced according to the Justice Department. Now here's what's interesting is that Wei and Zhao, they both actually received quote-unquote thousands of dollars for their participation in transmitting details to their handlers. However, I do want to make clear that this doesn't mean that Pedicini did the exact same thing. I just wanted to show you guys that there are current US military members who do things such as espionage even for quote-unquote thousands of dollars. Not that anyone should ever perform espionage or potentially hurt your fellow US service members, but for thousands of dollars, that's a very, very low thing to do. Okay, so that is the story. Make sure to leave your comments and opinions down below. I will be following up on this case once Pedicini's information goes a little more public and we actually know some more details of what exactly is going on. But again, according to the documents, it does look like he could be facing up to 10 years. So we shall see what happens. Make sure you guys stick around and we'll see you guys later.